Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. I've got a video for you today. Today was the Denver Card Show and I just returned from it a little while ago, and I wanted to show you guys what I picked up today at it. Picked up a bunch of stuff, some stuff that's smaller, and then one what I thought was a bigger purchase. But, uh, but yeah, without further ado, let's start getting into it. Got a bunch of just random, I think most of these are commons, but some 1952 tops. I always love this set. We got Ed Lopat, got Bob Swift, sorry, Art Houtman, Rocky Bridges, and these are in decent shape. I was going to get a bigger stack of them, but I kind of decided not to get some that had some creases in them. But here's Vic Wertz, again going after my Tigers. Here's Virgil Trucks and Red Rolf. And then next up, we got just one 1954 tops, but it's a nice one. Here's Dick Groat. Pretty decent shape, not the best, but I don't know, like a PSA 2, but not the greatest, but a cool card. A couple 56s. We've got Billy Martin and Early Win. The Billy Martin has some like staining on the back of it, so it was a little cheaper. Not that it's really an expensive card to begin with, but it still was a cool card that I didn't have yet. And the Early Win was cool too. I got a new Veda Pinson rookie, which I've already purchased this card before, but I wanted to upgrade mine, and I think that this one just looked outstanding. The centering's perfect on it. It's just got sharp corners and just looked absolutely perfect. So I'm going to send this one in for grading and probably end up replacing the one that I currently have. I'd have to double check what it is. I think I've got like a PSA like 4 of it right now, and I think this definitely will beat that. Then we got some 63s. We got Mini Minoso, which I did not have yet. Rocky Calavito. Replacing my Norm Cash because I was going through my cards the other day and I noticed that Norm Cash, mine is all creased up and this one's not. Don Mossy. I'm kind of like a Tigers set collector and Hall of Fame collector for the most part, but I haven't really gotten into. I've got binders of all the 60s and 70s sets, but I haven't really committed to being a set collector yet. Here's Duke Snider. I didn't have that one yet. Some 64 commons and stuff. Detroit Tigers team card. More Tigers. Bubba Phillips. Paul Foytak was a Tiger, but wasn't in 64. Frank Larry. Some 66s. Joe Sparma. Oops. Larry Sherry. Dick Tracewski. Terry Fox. And this guy, I do not know him. Bill Monboutique yet. He's a Tiger that I didn't have. Johnny Podres. 67s. Hank McGuire. Argure. Sockers. Pete Ward and Don Buford. Jim Northrup, 1967 tops. I think that's a high, I don't know if 408 is a high number or not, but I know I'm pretty sure I did not have him yet. Billy Williams, 1968 tops. Tommy John. Jim Northrup. Bert Campaneris, which I have some cards out to him to get autographed. I can't remember if I sent this one to him already, but I couldn't find it the other day in my book, and so I just didn't own it. But I'm hoping that he will sign the cards that I sent to him and send them back. I think I may have sent him my 68, so I replaced it. It was cheap. It was in a cheap event. So 1968 rookie stars for the Tigers. It's not going in focus. Oh well. Richie Allen. Norm Cash, which I think I own that already and somehow got into the stack. Ken Boyer. And Dennis Rybant, another Tiger. Charlie Ostremski. All-Star card, or the Sporting News, which I think that was the All-Star ones. Yeah, All-Star. Mickey Lilich. Tigers celebrating the 1968 World Series, and this is a 1969 Topps. Willie Horton. Jerry Kuzma. A lot of these ones that are not in sleeves are just ones that were really cheap, that were in a bargain box. More Tigers. Dick McAuliffe. Mike Kilkenny. Just grab this one, not reaching across. Les Kane, rookie. Cesar Gutierrez. I don't remember him, but not that I remember any of these guys because I wasn't alive in the 70s, but Billy Martin manager card. Rod Carew, and this was a really nice Rod Carew. The condition on this looked really good. Jim Hannon. Here's a Larry Boa rookie. Now he signs, and I've already had him signed, but I think I may send this one to him. It's the trophy rookie card of his. Jim Northrup. Tom Timmerman. Juan Marichal. Dalton Jones. Just more random Tigers. Jimmy Price. Bob Gibson. Aurelio Rodriguez. And these are all in sleeves, so you probably can't see the condition that perfectly, but they're not perfect, but they're not bad either. This is a really tough set to get in good condition. Darrell Patterson. Gates Brown. John Blue Moon Odom, which he signs through the mail. Carly Yastrzemski, didn't have that one yet. Vita Blue. There's Bill Freehan. Norm Cash. John Hiller. Ike Brown. So a lot of Tigers. Joe Niekro. Bob Reed. Here's 1972. This one's actually signed by Bob Gebhard, and the guy who sold it to me said he bought a big collection and there's a bunch of autographed ones in it, and he sent some in for grading and they all came back as authentic, so he thought this one was as well. Didn't charge me anymore for the autograph, but I'm gonna have to see if these other two guys, Steve Bry and Hal Hadel, also sign. If they do, maybe I can send it to them and try to get more people to sign it if they're still alive. Don't know. Frank Robinson, and then there we go. Then Darrell Evans, who he was an amazing Tiger first baseman throughout the 80s, but here he's on the Braves. I think this might be his rookie. Not sure, I'd have to double check that. Joe Niekro, Tom Timmerman, Ralph Garr. I grabbed this one because I know he signed still, and so I wanted to get him to sign that. Ike Brown, Mike Kilkenny, here's Sparky Anderson, Mickey Stanley, who he definitely signs through the mail. Tigers team card. And here's the 72 Topps Pete Rose, which it's in okay condition. I'd say it's probably like a PSA 3 in nowadays grading standards, saying the corners aren't perfect. It doesn't have any creases or anything, but just judging by like the top down centering and just the overall condition, probably would get, safe to say, at least a 3. Not that I'm going to grade it, but decent card. And Juan Marichal to round out the 72 Topps. See what else we got. Norm Cash, 74. Got some 75 Topps minis. Some Tigers, Jerry Moses. This one's not a Tiger, Bucky Dent trophy card. John Hiller, who also still signs in the mail. Gary Sutherland. Dave Lemanchek, he signs through the mail. I just sent some cards to him this week to get signed. And Nate Colbert. A few other 75s. Got Hank Aaron, card number 1, the 74 highlight card. Reggie Jackson. Tony Oliva. And here is a pretty decent Gary Carter rookie. The condition on this looked really good. The centering looked good on it. And didn't have this card, so really happy to add that to the collection. Some 76s. Here's George Brett. And these 76s are all in really good condition. Just some random stuff. Sal Bando. Gary Sutherland. Laren LeGros, he signs through the mail as well. Larry Parrish Trophy Cup rookie. Jack Pierce. Tom Walker. Carl Yastrzemski. Al Bombre, I got this one to send him to sign. I was preparing a thing to send out to him and saw this and figured I would get this one signed as well. Robin Yount, Jim Rice trophy card. I may send this one out to him. I know his real rookie's a 75, but it's one of those 4-person ones, and I don't really like getting those ones signed as much because the pictures are smaller, so I may go for this one. Sixto Lezcano, he's another one who signs through the mail, which is the reason I grabbed that one. Detroit Tigers team card. Carlton Fisk. Dave Lemanchek, Oakland A's team card. Tom Berryizer, Mickey Stanley, Ray Bear, and finally Terry Humphrey. So that's it for the baseball, except for one, which we'll get to at the end. And then just a bunch of random hockey from 1960, Dean Prentice. These are just cool. Orland Kurtenbach. I think these are 63, 64s or something, which I didn't have any from this set, but they were just in somebody's GB hockey box. Ed Van Impe. Ab McDonald. Jacques Plante. Brad Park. Oops. Start a new stack. Dave Keon, probably one of the best Maple Leafs of all time. And he also signs through the mail, so I got this actually to have him sign. Pat Quinn. Rod Sealing. Oops, sorry, I did this stuff. Just some random stuff. Ed Westfall. Not any big names really in here. A couple here and there. Pitt Martin. Wayne Cashman. Giles Meloche, which I believe he signs through the mail. I sent some stuff out to him a couple months ago and it hasn't come back. We'll see if it does. Rick Kehoe, I ended up getting this card signed, so I had to replace it. Pete left from Boise. Another Ed Westfall. Doug Fall. Terry Harper, he signs through the mail. Bob Stewart. Al Arbor. Pete Mahavlich. Rod Sealing again. Dennis Hextall. Ken Hodge All-Star. Giles Gilbert. Jean Rattel. Marshall Johnston. Harry Gibbs. Stan Gilbertson. Here's Rogie. Dennis Hull. Larry Giroux, who he signs through the mail as well. The late Peter McNabb, who used to be a commentator on Altitude for the Avalanche for years and years, and he died of cancer a couple years ago. Cool guy. If you ever get a chance, watch there's a video of him and the Bruins getting in a fight with the crowd in 1979 or 80 or around then, where like he jumps into the stands and starts fighting like audience crowd members. Pretty crazy. Terry Harper, another Peter McNabb, Ron Schock, Ed Jacquemin, Reed Larson, Doug Favall on the Rockies, Ed Westfall, Butch Goring, and then just probably not going to go through all these, but a bunch of other like just 80s, 1980 through some hockey. We're not going to go through all of them. There's a lot, and they're interesting to me, but they're probably not that interesting to you. And there's I don't know if there's any like really key players. There's Michel Goulet, really good Nordique. We'll go through a few of them. Reggie Leach, Gilbert Peralt, Marcel Dion. I guess there are some stars in here. Corey Roberts, Rick Kehoe, Phil Esposito, Stan Schmiel. But yeah, nothing too outstanding. Yeah, we're not going to go through all these. But it's just a lot of fun, like commons and semi-stars in there. But now let's get to the graded cards. And first one is, there's like 2 of us in Denver that ever go around asking for vintage hockey. And so for some reason, I guess the sellers remember us. And there's one seller who always has modern hockey. And he called me to his table and he said that he actually finally had a vintage card that he bought in a lot of modern stuff, but it had a vintage card of, it's a 1953 Parkhurst of Doug Harvey. Doug Harvey is Hall of Fame. He was a 6-time Stanley Cup winner in the 1950s with the Canadiens. Was it 6 or? Yeah, I believe it was 6 in the 50s with the Canadiens. He's like a 9-time consecutive All-Star, just a really good player. He played from the 50s through, I think, the late 60s. Was on the Red Wings at one point as well, but this is kind of near the beginning in 1953 when he was on the Canadiens. So cool card. It's in a 1.5. It's not, like the condition is not perfect. It's got like some staining on the back and stuff, but I don't know, it was just cool. And he's like, I asked him what do you want for it, and he said $15, so that was cool. So yeah, so we'll add it to the collection. And then next is the other card, which is kind of the big card of the show that I bought. And I wasn't really going in to buy big cards, but it's a big card for me, and it may not be a big card for you guys, but it's a 1969 Topps Mickey Mantle, which is pretty cool. His final card. Which is cool because it's got like the stats of his entire career on the back of it. It is in a PSA 3. As you can see, it's like if the glare will actually let me get it in focus, but anyway, it's an older PSA label, which we kind of took that into consideration in formulating a price, but I got it for a decent price, and yeah, so happy to add a new Mickey Mantle to my collection that I didn't have yet. So it doesn't have any creases. It is a 3, and I kind of looked at it closely to make sure, because I know the standards back then were not as good, and this is probably graded, I'm guessing, like in the 90s, and back then a 3 probably could have or would have had creases on it. This one does not, so it's just it's got poor centering on the up and down and left, right to a certain extent, but lesser extent. And the corners aren't perfect. But it's still a really nice copy of that card. And so I'm really happy to add the Mickey Mantle to the collection. And yeah, so that was my big purchase of the show. So hopefully you guys saw something that you liked, and I guess I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.